Jehovah's Witnesses have once again been stricken by tragedy, ExJW agents. In the late hours of March 9th in Hamburg, Germany, a Jehovah's Witnesses midweek meeting, also known as a Christian Life and Ministry meeting, was attacked by an armed assailant. According to the latest Reuters report, the gunman had been a former Jehovah's Witness. The State Prosecutor also stated that the shooter had attacked with a legally owned, semi-automatic handgun, purchased in December. Unfortunately, 6 men and women lost their lives in the attack. A further 6 were injured, some critically. Additionally, a pregnant woman was injured and lost her unborn daughter in the violence. The shooter, only identified as Phillip F, was described as such. He was a 35-year-old, male, German citizen, a legal handgun owner in a country with some of the strictest gun laws in the world, and most tellingly, a former Jehovah's Witness. Finally, we also know the shooter took his own life at the end of the attack as police arrived on the scene. Officially, the shooter's motivation is unknown, but in my personal opinion, this seems very similar to a recent attack locally here in the United States. In December, 2 former Jehovah's Witnesses attacked their old Kingdom Hall with incendiary devices before shooting themselves ahead of emergency crews arriving. There were no other casualties in that incident. Additionally, a few more years ago, a man in Ashland, New Hampshire also attacked a Kingdom Hall with an apparent motive to take his own life at the end as well. The striking similarities between those 3 attacks is that they weren't focused on any individuals, but the halls themselves, along with the suicide attached to the end. I'm not a forensic expert by any means, but this pattern reinforces that mental health isn't well looked after in the organization, and that the Jehovah's Witnesses organization is central in the minds of these attackers. We do not have a full report on Phillip F, the attacker, but here's what we know about him so far. We've since learned that the shooter was a Jehovah's Witness that left the congregation voluntarily, though not on good terms according to German investigating officials. Based on the police reports about a stash of ammunition in his apartment, we were able to tell he had planned this. He did not seek out mental health treatment, appeared mentally unstable, and harbored resentment for his employer and the Christian congregation of Jehovah's Witnesses. A neighbor caught footage of the attack at the start.
In the distance, a figure appears to have climbed up the outside of a building and is peering inside. Then, after a short pause, he raises what appears to be a handgun and opens fire.
Since the attack, Jehovah's Witnesses have released a statement. It reads as follows. On March 9th, 2023, a shooter attacked the Hamburg Germany Kingdom Hall after the midweek meeting had concluded. Sadly, 4 brothers, 2 sisters, and a sister's unborn child were killed in this shooting. Several other brothers and sisters were injured. Local elders are providing spiritual comfort to the family members and friends of those affected. We appreciate the courageous help provided by the police and emergency services. Our prayers are with all those affected by the attack. We are confident that Jehovah, the God of peace, will continue to be a refuge and strength in this time of distress. The statement leaves me with conflicting feelings, mostly regarding police and spiritual comfort, but in light of the situation, we can discuss that another day. The team behind Darth Magog extends their well wishes, especially to our German ExJW viewers that may have been affected by this attack. If there's a fund for practical assistance, we'd like to hear all about it so that we can promote and contribute to it. I'll state my generally unpopular opinion again for the record. I do believe that a fair majority of Jehovah's Witnesses are just good, normal people. There is never a reason to use violence against a Jehovah's Witness place of worship. There is clearly evil in the organization. We're seeing that in Australia, Spain, Norway, the United States, and many other countries around the world. But there's also good in it too. For example, all your favorite ExJW content creators like Wally, Jake, Harrison, Kim and Mikey, Ryan, Kai, Owen Morgan, Asher, all of them were once Jehovah's Witnesses. I was a Jehovah's Witness and believed all the evil things the organization taught me. The organization has millions of victims worldwide. My point being that while the org should be dismantled, violence is not the way to do it. Generally, 50 people sitting, struggling to stay awake late at night in these thin, cold Kingdom Hall chairs aren't the real reason behind the evil. They're just children raised with it, spouses dragged along, or vulnerable victims desperate for even a taste of hope. Granted, there is a level of complicity. I too, as a ministerial servant, participated in the society-sanctioned homophobia and misogyny. And yes, believe me, I'm very ashamed of that. My parents too participated, additionally participating in the emotional and physical abuse approved by the very same system. And even they were manipulated by my grandparents and other members of the congregation, preying on the vulnerabilities of children who just wanted their mothers. Mothers that you could only hug if they followed God's word to a T and survived the looming war of Armageddon. They've still been waiting for that very same looming war over 50 years now. Ultimately, the true fault lies with the organizational leadership. The Samuel Herds who think that women having physically smaller organs than men means that their capacity for leadership is lower. The Stephen Letts who think that babies are God's enemies and wants his nephew resurrected to submit him to 1,000 years of gay conversion therapy. The Kenneth Cooks who believe that finding your gender identity is polluting the planet. The Jeff Jacksons who lie under oath about doctrine to protect a database of thousands of child predators within his organization, rather than release said database to protect future victims and help heal current victims. There are plenty of reasons to protest, hate, or pity Jehovah's Witnesses. There are no reasons to attack a kingdom hall full of people, innocent children who have never seen a Christmas morning or made a birthday wish because their parents forced their religious beliefs on them. Spouses who stopped believing years ago, but can't bear to lose their children, husbands, and wives to an organization that demands contact be cut off from non-believers. Even some of the elders are ExJW covert agents, risking everything they are to help take the org down from inside and protect their loved ones from the corrupt system of things that is Watchtower. Returning to the attack, as of this recording, there are no charitable funds being gathered at the moment in a public setting. I do hope that Watchtower and ExJW can gather something, and if I find something the public can contribute to for the families of these victims, be sure it will be posted. For now, we can only hope that sufficient mental health can be extended to other victims of this organization, should mental health be the cause of the attack. And we can also only hope that the Christian congregation of Jehovah's Witnesses follows what I believe a religion should exist to provide, that being comfort, community, culture, and charity to its victims. If there are any believing, practicing Jehovah's Witnesses watching, please let me be clear, this is not what the ExJW community wants. Your same brothers and sisters in your kingdom halls are our loved ones, our husbands, our wives, our brothers and sisters, mothers and fathers, uncles and aunts, cousins and friends. If there's any way for us to connect in this time of crisis, I'm urging you to do so. Please. And for everyone else, please stay safe. Keep your mental health in mind and be kind.